Napoleon in a totally new way. The news is always about Napoleon to me because I think he's very much on the move in many ways. To me, he is. And not only do we obsess about Napoleon here, but we also obsess about ways to get free from the banking oligarchy, which has hijacked our countries, hijacked our lives, set every kind of trap for us. One thing you can say is they know how to trap people, and they they know how to close off all the doors. They know how to man every gate. There they are. You can't get through them. They're making sure every single door is being guarded by them so you can't pass through. So they've turned the whole world into a kind of prison. And what do you do when you're in prison? You become spiritual and you look within and you find out how to get free and how to get past this incredible constriction that we're living under. I know I am by no means the only person who feels extremely trapped and like the game was rigged since before we were even born. And that's where I think they have the advantage that they're operating over centuries. And the secret societies have multi-century plans. And then who runs these secret societies? Who do the secret societies serve? That's very obvious. It's very, very obvious. And it's a very Northern European thing. And so much of the racism that's always being pushed on us, I don't even think we are racist. I think they are. And they like to put their own neurotic aspects onto us all the time. They're always telling us like World War II is our fault and the persecution of all these groups are our fault. It's not our fault. It's actually their fault. So they're projecting pretty much everything they do onto us, and then they try to make us feel guilty for the things that they do. So because I'm always looking for solutions, I cannot. If I'm going to be under constraint, I'm going to fight it every second, every day, in every way. I will never stop fighting the traps that have been set for us. And one of the ideas that I was blessed enough to come up with was this like a digital currency backed by a real commodity. So the difficulty with money is that it should be backed by something that has value. And what has value? Actually, a very influential artist's work has value. So I'm very lucky that I can back the money with something that will appreciate. I hate to say, but when the artist dies, their their work becomes worth a lot more because the artist can't make anymore, obviously. But that's how money works. So I am backing this with not only my work, which will increase in value, but I also issue digital currency against it. So if you have digital Tansters, you can trade them just like PayPal or Bitcoin, and I will back it up. Anyone who has a digital Tanster can come to me and demand my work. It's I will always buy Tansters. I don't have any digital Tansters because no one's brought them back to me. But I am more than happy to issue digital currency. I'm more than happy to issue the actual currency, which is the beautiful sapphire tender jewelry. It's gorgeous. You can see some of it here. It's so in my bracelet. It's so beautiful, and I think it's very powerful also. So we wanted to issue some currency today, but it was too windy. I guess we'll have to wait till next weekend. We've been doing it on the weekend, but the weather wasn't that good today. So we will postpone this until next weekend. Hopefully, someone is going to appreciate it when they do get it. And it's not just that I want to spread this idea about money because I can make money. I'm a very influential artist. I'm just being suppressed by the banking oligarchy. And can they suppress me for another 200 years? Well, they did a good job on Napoleon. 200 years of suppressing him. Congratulations. You guys were very committed to it. So, are they going to be able to do the same thing to me? Will they always be able to bury and hide and blacklist me and trap me and lie about me and play every dirty trick they can possibly imagine, lighting so many fireworks around my house that it sounds like the world is ending? They've done that repeatedly, every chance they get. Uh, it could be the dead of winter. If they have a good little reason, they'll go crazy with the fireworks. They just love to terrorize and intimidate me. Well, that just shows who they are. And that's what I want. I want people to understand their enemy. I'm well aware of my enemy. I know exactly who my enemy is because I know about history. Napoleon had the same enemies that we have. Napoleon failed. He did not defeat them. Now look at our world. The world is actually much, 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 much better during Napoleon's time. Oh, but they had to come in and bring their plans and all their sexy boys and girls and all their little tricks and traps and, isolating the target. All this stuff they did to Napoleon at war times are what's being done to me and other people. And I put that up on the blog today, showing that musicians of all people have this choice they have to make. It's in all of these songs. I put up a song by Rush today called Double Agent. Wow, how come musicians have so much to say about spies? What do those two things have in common? See, the spies are not doing what they're supposed to do. They're controlling influential people for a certain dynasty that relies on mind control to keep its Ponzi scheme going. Every single thing that they're doing is criminal and not sound, and that's why they have to have so many publicists calling them billionaire philanthropists. Whenever I hear, oh, it's a billionaire philanthropist, my brain translates it to like big time organized crime figure. That's what my brain does. Billionaire philanthropist. I'm like, oh, that must be a big time mobster. It's got to be a big gangster if they're a billionaire philanthropist. So that's how it works. The worst people, you're told that they're like, oh my goodness, no names. No names. So there you go. Next time you hear the publicists tell you about a billionaire philanthropist, that's code for big time gangster in my mind. Prove me wrong. So, along those lines, today I want to talk about the transits because this is a really good time to spill those secrets and to transform the way we're thinking. And that is exactly what I'm trying to say. When you hear them say billionaire philanthropist, translate it to what it really is. That's a transformation in your thinking. And they won't be able to fool you in the same way. When you realize what they mean, it's the opposite. When they tell you it's a very, 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 very good person, watch out. When they tell you it's a very, very, very bad person, you probably can trust them. It's simple. They really are saying the opposite of everything. And I have to imagine that has something to do with their religion. 'Cause my religion, whatever it is not saying the opposite of the truth. It's saying the truth. So if their whole religion is about tricking people and saying the opposite of the truth and making sure everybody's confused all the time, they're doing a really good job with their religion. So hopefully we can mentally transform. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because there's a trine between Pluto and Mercury. So Pluto, I don't think we can go over this enough. Pluto is death and rebirth, and it's secrets, and it's what they're hiding from us, and it's spooky things, and it's secret societies. It's that whole feeling of the scary things in the dark. That's Pluto, and it's in a very harmonious aspect, a trine with Mercury. And Mercury is thinking, and it's media, and it's communicating, and it's social. And Mercury is in Gemini. which is its own sign. So Mercury is really in the zone right now. So we can really transform our thinking. We can transform how we talk to each other. We can change forever and never go back to the way we were. We have all of this fantastic, harmonious energy to communicate better and to change things in a positive way because Pluto is in Capricorn. So we can change our structures. We can talk to each other about what can we do to make our structures better, make our organizations more fair. We can do that right now and have success and expect it to work out. I know it's wild to think that astrology is true, but over and over and over again, I've seen that it is. I don't get it either, but it does work. And watch in a month, if you remember that I brought up that Mercury and Pluto were in a harmonious aspect, you will see that there are ways that communication and thinking have transformed. Watch in a month, like set it on your your calendar. It'll happen. It will happen. We are changing the way we think. It is happening. The transit's here. It it's not going to happen. It is happening. We are doing that right now, and we're having a lot of luck doing it. We're still communicating, and we're still on the air. And I know there's so much support out there, and that's a harmonious aspect. There's so much support from the hidden people, the Plutos. You guys are all out there, and I understand you're going through a lot of really difficult emotions, and I am too. And we're all hurting a lot. I'm gonna cry if I bring this up, but I know you're out there fighting. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all of you. I know you guys are going through a lot, and I'm going through a lot too. But we will unite, okay? And we'll do the right thing, and we'll listen to that voice within, and we'll find out what we have to do, and we will do it, and we will get free. We can get free. It's hard to stay encouraged, but we have to. And we have I want to let you know about the good aspects that we have. We really have some good ones. And if you know we have them, you can be bolder in accessing these opportunities. And the reason I say bolder is because the moon is in Leo. So the moon is how we feel. It's what really drives us is our feelings. And the sun is like all the prominence and the fame and the bigness and the look at me is Leo. And that's Leo energy. So if you can combine that, it's the moon in the sign which is ruled by the sun. So it's a combination of having the feelings to stand out there in front and say, look at me and put me first and to be bold and playful. It's not negative. It's to show off a little bit. So that's the energy of the moon right now. And we should feel that uh, kind of daringness. It's kind of a Leo thing. And Leo is also in a square with Taurus. Okay, so Leo is royalty and prominence, and everybody knows what a Leo is, a big show off, big shot. That's kind of Leo. And Leo is in a square. The moon in Leo is in a square with the sun in Taurus. Okay, what does that mean? The sun rules Leo and the moon is in Leo. So already it's like a sunny moon and it's in a square with the sun. So that's a difficult aspect. There's going to be some tension. You might have to do something to resolve a problem, an emotional problem with your maybe with the way you come across or the most important thing in your life. That would be the sun. And it's in Taurus. And that's money. That's Venus. That is a space ruled by Venus. So once again, the focus is on money and values, and we can put so much attention on what we want to put forward. What do we value? Do we value money, 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 more money. Where's the money? I need the money. Show me the money. I mean, we're so brainwashed to be crazy about money. Or do we value each other and our freedom and our self-respect? Do, d- you can't respect yourself and live as a coward. You can't. It's not possible. Cowardice is a death of a life. It's better. I think it's better to not be a coward. Let's just put it that way. So, what do you value? Do you value how you view yourself? Do you value your self-esteem? Do you value these internal things like, are you wasting your life and just being a selfish, money obsessed type of person? Or do you want to live for ideals and beliefs and to develop them and to have the courage to experience your feelings? Because what's been so hard for me lately is I'm a workaholic. It's like I can't not work. Like if you put me on a beach, I'll start piling up shells or something. Start building something very serious with shells. I'll have a grout. I just can't not work. It's horrible. But it's because I'm so I have like such a deep vault of pain. So I just keep working and it's so much. It's so much pain. So and then lately, because I have found out about the most important question that could possibly ever exist to me personally in the world, I am beyond blown away constantly about this. A situation with Elvis Costello. I cannot believe this. Who I call Cohen. I call him a lot of things. I have a lot of names for him. Anyway, one of them is Cohen, the king of America, Napoleon Dynamite, because he's Napoleon. He is not a normal person in any way whatsoever. Anyone can tell, but in a really good way. So somehow he hijacked my mind. I know how it sounds, but that is what happened. He hijacked my mind, and now now I have to deal with all of these feelings that I didn't really deal with because I was always working. And the worst part about me is I'm very like I don't want to be here. I want to be in the spirit realm. I want to be like already at the next spot. I'm not having a really great life. So I was just so excited about I hate to say it, but dying well. Like come and get me. I just want to die the right way so I can get out of this situation. That's how trapped I feel. And this is before 2014, okay? 2014, not 2020. Okay? The way they trap us is some people don't make good slaves. I am one of them. I cannot be a slave. Not everybody has what it takes to be a slave. And the people who don't have what it takes to be a good slave get killed. If it's a plantation owner, slaver, global dynasty, which is exactly what it is. So, like you said, I'm just going to fight and fight and fight and fight. I will never stop fighting. They can come to the house and do whatever they want. I will never stop fighting. And I mean this. If they kill me, I will haunt them. And I'll probably, but I mean it. I will haunt them. And I have a feeling that Napoleon actually did this to Lord Castlereagh. Spirits are eternal, aside from the predictions of becoming dust. There are spirits. Maybe we do become dust in a sense, but I do believe that we still, our spirits live on. That I know. I read his little story. Napoleon was cruelly murdered by the British oligarchy, and then the British oligarchy, who somehow operates over centuries, continued to trick the public about it for 200 years until my project. And every freaking agent they could dig up was sent my way to stop people from understanding Napoleon's enemies because it's them. They're still in power and they don't want people to be able to identify them because they are the ones doing all of these wars and the terrorism and the horrible things that are done to uh, the rest of the world and our countries. All of our countries are being deliberately destroyed by very specific people who are very easy to identify. Everything in the media is like, oh, you'll never figure them out. They're right there in your face. They're super easy to identify. I identify them literally constantly. They're so easy to identify. And then if there's that guy on top of all these justice systems that like shuts down justice in all the countries, that's the person, because they're not going to leave their palaces. It's going to be that person who's shutting down like the whole state. They buy the person on top. Yeah, and who buys them? So easy to find out who buys them. All you have to do is analyze Donald Trump and everything around Donald Trump, and then there they are. They pop right up. It's them. It's not 5 other groups. It's everybody around Donald Trump. Everybody. Oh, and Hillary Clinton too. See? Like they're on the same team, really. It's all BS. This is shown to me repeatedly. Okay? Hillary and Trump are on the same drama club. Same drama club. It's all BS. Find out who's around them. That's them. That's the ones that did 9/11. That's the ones that did this huge BS project that never ends. It's right. Okay? It's so easy. So it's just a question of who's standing in the way. Oh, who's at the gate? Let's check them out. You can always see them standing at the gate. That's their whole job. They get all of that money to stand at that gate. So they're real easy to find too. All over the world. So easy to find. That guy at the gate. He's going to make sure you can't walk out through the door. But, they treat us like cows. And I have nothing but respect for animals. So I'm not even insulting cows. I'm saying they know very well that once there's a stampede, that's it. That is it. Those cows are gone. Okay? And that's the situation we're in right now. We are treated like cows. And like I said, I don't want to disrespect cows in any way. They're beautiful animals, truly. But they do treat us like cows. And just stampede out. They don't have everything. They have to hide. They have to hide. They can't get caught. If they get caught, they're done. Because they're so guilty. And they're so obviously guilty. The only thing keeping them continuing to literally terrorize us is that guy at the door who is somehow like shutting down all of these institutions to justice. We need justice. I am not suggesting vigilante justice. I am suggesting do something about that guy. We all know who that guy is, okay? That guy is shutting down justice. And the guy who pays that guy is going to be in his palace. Can't get to him. They have him all wrapped up. But that guy who's shutting down justice, he is to stand at the gate. That's his job. So as long as he's at the gate, he's so easy to spot. And we all know who that person is. I know, for sure, who's standing at all those doors. As a lifelong resident of the Hamptons, it's very easy to know about that. Very easy to know exactly what specific bank they work for, of course. So let's read a letter by Napoleon. And I think you'll see once again how similar he is to this incredible Napoleon of music. I mean, just right there, that term fits him like a glove. He is the Napoleon of music. So you already have that major hint that they are two of a kind. And who's in Napoleon's league? He was the greatest. So, and another thing that I kept saying is that these letters that Napoleon wrote to Josephine, he did not know her. And he is saying all of these things. He worships her. He is on his hands and knees to her. She's the center of his moral being. He doesn't know the first thing about her. It's just to show you how quick he is to like project all of this love that he has on anything. It's such a powerful twin flame impulse that he has, that he's like, "Oh, are you my twin flame? Good, you'll be my twin flame." And the proof of that is what I read last time, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, where Napoleon says to Josephine, "I do not know whether you are in need of money because you've never spoken to me of your financial affairs." And he's saying, "If you need money, let me know." Can you imagine Napoleon, the founder of the Bank of France? This is crazy. And Josephine, the most insanely in debt person, always beyond your imagination. She pretty much married him because she was so in debt. So she completely hid this from him. He didn't even know. Napoleon is never going to get along with the women like that. So he doesn't know anything about her. Napoleon is careful with money. He will not He won't get ripped off anything. He is very ascetic. He's like almost tight-fisted, but generous. But he watches everybody, and she was a spendaholic like the world had never seen before. He was never going to respect a woman like that. So I mean, I can assure you, when they tell you, "Oh, Napoleon and Josephine," eh, he was this is doomed to fail, even if she hadn't been cheating on him, because he could never respect a woman like that who couldn't control herself with money. It's the way he was. Anyway, so that's the proof. This is not about Josephine. This is all about him. So you're finding out the soft inside, dark and sweet parts of Napoleon, and they sound like Cohen songs. And I never even realized that it was to this extent. So I'm glad we're doing this, and we can just prove it and prove it and prove it and prove it and prove it. And then when I prove it, everybody has to support him. Everybody, like I do, everybody has to support him because he is. I can't believe it, but he is Napoleon. It's so hard to believe. I can't. It's hard to believe, but I know it is. So we have to support him because he's our leader. He really is our leader. So let me read this letter by Napoleon to Josephine. Murat, who will deliver this letter to you, will explain, my adorable love, what I have done, what I'm going to do, what I wish. I have concluded an armistice with the King of Sardinia. 3 days ago, I sent Junot off with my brother, but they will reach Paris after Murat, who goes by way of Turin. I wrote you by Junot to leave with him and come to join me. I now beg you to leave with Murat, passing through Turin. Thus you would shorten your journey by 15 days. It is possible then that I shall see you here inside 15 days. Quarters are ready for you at Mondovì and at Tortona. You might go from Mondovì to Nice and thence to Genoa, whence you could proceed elsewhere in Italy at your pleasure. My happiness is to see you happy, my joy to see you gay, my pleasure to see you pleased. There never was a woman loved with more devotion, passion, or tenderness. Never again can I be complete master of my heart, dictating thereto all its tastes, its inclinations, forming all its desires. If it is otherwise with you, I deplore my blindness. I turn over your heart to the remorse of your soul. And if I do not die of grief, my feelings hurt for life. My heart will never again entertain pleasure or sweetness. My life will be of the body only, because in losing your love, your heart, your adorable person, I shall have lost all which makes life pleasant and dear. Ah, then I shall no longer be unwilling to die, and perhaps I shall succeed in finding death on the field of honor. How, my life, is it possible that I should not be sad? No letter from you. I get only one every 4 days. Instead of which, if you loved me, you would write me twice a day. But one must needs chatter with the little gentleman who call from 10 in the morning on. One must listen to the piffle and silly twaddle of 100 fops right on to an hour after midnight. In countries where morals exist from 10 o'clock in the evening, everyone is at home. And in those countries, one writes to one's husband, one thinks of him, one lives for him. Adieu, Josephine. You are to me a monster I can't make out. I love you more every day. Absence cures the small passions, it increases the great. Kiss on your mouth or on your heart. There's nobody but me, isn't it so? And then one of your breast. How happy your eyes, little hand. Ah, if you do not come, bring with you your maid, your woman cook, your coachman. I have here coach horses at your service and a fine carriage. Bring only what is necessary to your person. I have here silver and porcelain, which will answer. Adieu, work summons me. I cannot lay the pen aside. Ah, if I have no letters from you this evening, I shall be in despair. Think of me, or tell me disdainfully that you do not love me, and then perhaps I shall find in my spirit the means of making myself less pitiable. I wrote you by my brother that he had 200 louis of mine at your service. I'm sending you by Murat 200 louis to apply to your own needs or to use for furnishing the apartment you contemplate for me. If only you would put your portrait everywhere. But no, it is so beautiful, the one I have in my heart, that for all your loveliness and whatever the skill of the painters, their work would fall much shorter of that. That will be a happy day, the day you pass the Alps. It will be the finest compensation for my sufferings, the happiest reward for my victories. I did not record. What I recorded here. Okay, that's weird. It records less and less on my phone now. So, I just noticed patterns. Okay, that's a million Cohen songs, obviously. Obviously, a million Cohen songs. So, again, proven again, as we know. Is anyone anywhere saying that I'm off my rocker on this? I'm blacklisted, so nobody's saying anything. But even subtextually, they're not, right? Exactly. Because I am nailing this one, okay? I saved an iPhone. That's a good day. I hate dropping iPhones. It's always sad for me. Anyway. Okay, so now we're going to hear the same exact voice 200 years later in a British person. It's so wild, but it's the same person. So interesting to see how Napoleon comes out under different circumstances. He has had different circumstances for sure. There's no question about that. Really different. I think we've actually had it rougher our life. But they had the French Revolution brought on by secret societies. So it's the same thing. We're up against the same people. The problem with us, and the reason our lives are so much worse than theirs were, and they are, so much more free, and it's because they haven't been stopped. So this is, they were a nightmare, literal reign of terror nightmare in the 1700s, and because they've been so incredibly amazing at tricking us and subverting us and keeping us stupid and destroying our economies, all the things that the secret societies are just so incredible at. They're amazing. They're amazing at destroying lives. So you can see how much further they've gotten, how much bigger they've made the wars, how much more death that they can accomplish now because of technology. So everything about the Napoleon story is they're trying to clear the world of people and take over. That's the whole wonderful aristocratic plot. So I've proven that so much, so many times. These creepy, really creepy people. Wow, they're creepy. These, like, you don't see these ones. Not too much, but when you see them, they're scary. They look different. The ones that are like plotting our extinction, they got that look in their eyes. I'm not gonna say any names, but they got that look in their eyes. It's not a human look. It's like a ghoul. The ones like I'm thinking like certain aristocrats, and they got that look, like scary look in their eyes. Really rich looking aristocrats. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I have an image in my mind right now about it. Okay, so yesterday we were. I'm out of control. I'm sorry. So yesterday we were hearing such a sweet memory of. I can't. It's so touching. It's so touching to hear about these nostalgic stories, and I can't tell you how much they touch me. But the day his dad got the Beatles record, and he had to learn it for the Joe Loss Orchestra. It's so sweet. So sweet. I can't handle it. Anyways, that's what we read yesterday. So I'm going to continue that, and I can see he's got a whole other thing. So I'm going to read for a while. Hopefully the iPhone will pick this one up. Let's see. I don't know what became of all the records that had passed through his hands prior to this moment. I know a few favorites went onto the family shelf. Perhaps the others were given to friends or even to the women who I now know he was seeing on the side. From the moment on, though, I had to pick of the new releases. My dad was obliged to learn those records are going nowhere. I suddenly had 10 times the records that my pocket money would have bought me. As the Beatles' success grew and grew during 1963, I waited for each new single with the increasing certainty that my dad would bring it home to learn it and that it would eventually become mine. For me to you arrived next on a white parlophone label with a big orange A printed on it. Many of the songs that my dad was given to learn were so hot off the presses that they arrived on an acetate dub that came with a label reading Demo Disc and Dick James Music Limited, printed in bold red type. In the case of one particular record, someone had typed in the words Northern Songs in a slanted line of black ink. In the space left after the word artist, someone had simply typed Beatles, but then had taken the time to type 45 next to a printed RPM before presumably gluing the label to the disc. The song was She Loves You. Even though these songs were already on the radio, the presence of the records in the house felt special, as if the copies had come from the Beatles themselves, alongside inside track. Okay, so the biggest proof of all that Cohen is Napoleon, and it's so obvious, is that as a young Napoleon Declan, he could clearly see the way to take over the world was through this rock music. That's where the real power is. So that's where he had to go. That's the resounding proof of it all, right there. There's no power in being a banker puppet. Could be rock star. So I get it. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much.